They were almost there. He hits that shot. They tie the game. Who knows if they win, but they have a chance. And Iguodala picked his pocket with the game on the line. Stephen A., there is no way the Blazers can win this series now. Not that there really was much of a chance before. But when they had a chance to steal a road game and the ball in the hero's hands, and he's simply defeated. It's like the end of Avengers, like Thanos. They just disintegrated. And that's really what it comes down to. I hate to say it.
Max Kellerman, right person, wrong reasons. You picked Damian Lillard because of the final play. I'm going to tell you Damian Lillard in the fourth quarter. If you recall, they had a lead, and then all of a sudden it was evaporated in 2.5 minutes because Golden State goes on a blitz. Here's what was transpiring during that process. There was a lot of over-dribbling on the part of Damian Lillard. And even though he made a couple of nice baskets, and two, including 3 from the parking lot for crying out loud, and a nice little left-handed layup, the reality is because he was dribbling the ball so much, he didn't get the ball to C.J. McCollum. C.J. McCollum then went cold when you finally decided to come back to him because it had been so long that he had gone without touching the ball. And I think that that was one of the things that inhibited them, because what happened is you couldn't stop the bleeding once that started, because then you came to C.J. looking for him to make one of those big shots like we all know he is capable of doing. But you didn't get him the ball in rhythm nearly as much as you should have. That is the responsibility of a guy I believe to be first-team All-NBA. Damian Lillard didn't have a bad game. He didn't have an awful game, but we know he could be better. He had 23 points in the second half. I mean, he was coming on strong. Make no mistake about it. He was trying to pull a Steph Curry, for crying out loud, with what Steph Curry did against Houston in that closeout Game 6. But in the end, when Golden State amped up its pressure, as they can, he didn't do that. And let's give credit to Steve Kerr, for example. Jordan Bell comes off the bench, gives you 11 points, played solid, played really, really solid. We know the defense that Andre Iguodala has played. I can't say enough about Draymond Green and what he was able to do. Klay Thompson had somewhat of an off night, shooting 8 of 22 from the field. Kevon Looney hit all 6 of his shots. And we saw how they were a little gassed and how Steve Kerr had to maneuver his way through that to make that run in the fourth quarter. And for me, you know, when I looked at Seth Curry, I can't say enough about how proud I am of the little brother, the little Curry, because I was going to tweet, what the hell are you doing? He needs to shoot, because he came out there, Max and Molly, and he was just passing the ball. I'm like, You're a Curry. Your father was shooting shots from the parking lot. Your brother is the greatest shooter we have ever seen. Your last name is Curry. When you are in a game, we expect to see you shooting the damn ball, and he wasn't doing it. And then all of a sudden, he came on and hit 4 3-pointers. He was balling. I was really proud of him.
I hear what you're saying about feeling the game for Damian Lillard. When you're the star and you have the ball in your hand, you got to feel the game. And we saw Kawhi Leonard trying to get his teammates involved early against Milwaukee, and then didn't feel it properly at the end of the game. Like, Kawhi, now you have to take over. You can't shoot 3 times in the fourth quarter. You got to take over now. And Damian Lillard, your argument here is didn't feel the game properly in this respect. Had to know. But that happens to everyone. That's happened to Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. Everyone has misread a game at times, even in the fourth quarter, even in a playoff situation. My point is this. However you got there, you got there. And I hate to reduce it to this, but how can you avoid this? Like, you can't really get around this one. However you got there, you got there. You're down 3. You have infinite range practically. The ball is in your hands. You're on the road. You have a chance to at least send it to overtime to steal a road game. And you get stripped with the game on the line. Stephen A., you can talk about McCollum wasn't hot and Lillard had to feel the fourth quarter a little better. I'm not going to argue with you. Probably right. No one's perfect. But in that moment, you got the champions come through in that moment. And the also-rans do not. And I believe Lillard has the heart of a champion. But this series is now over. I didn't think they were going to win this series anyway. I thought they could take it 6. They ain't taking it 6.
First of all, lesson number 1, hoarse voice and all. I don't need you to explain to people what I mean by what I say. They understand exactly what I said about basketball. That's number one. Number two, the final play, the stripping. There have been plenty of players, star players in NBA history, the final moment, whether it's a missed shot, it's a key turnover, whatever the case may be. It happens. But when you look at a point guard, particularly when we're judging a point guard, it's not just your job to recognize what you need to do in terms of your own individual production. You're an extension of the coach on the floor. You know what CJ can do. He was hitting some shots earlier on. To go away from him because you had this penchant for dribbling the basketball a bit excessively was not something that you need to do, particularly against a Golden State squad that can resemble a bunch of piranhas when they amp up their defense and they start trapping you. Damian Lillard, this is not the finals where you're going up against a team in the East that you face twice a year. Damian Lillard is incredibly familiar with Golden State, what they like to do and what they can do. So for him to make those mistakes is something that he has to clean up. I thought that had more of a profound impact on the outcome than the last play.
Let me just translate what you mean by what you're saying.
All right, guys.
Whatever you say.
Concur again.
Whatever you say.
Game 3,
Whatever you
obviously, in Portland's a must-win for the Blazers. Max, just admit it. The series is over.
Series is over, and because that's a demoralizing loss. And listen, they weren't going to win the series anyway. But I thought they could take it 6, maybe 7 games without KD.
Yeah.
They needed, and I thought they were going to surprise people and upset them, and I was that close to being right. Because I believed in that situation, Lillard hits the shot.
Yeah, Dame
you know?
time.
He didn't even have a chance to get it off. That it's a wrap. Maybe this goes 5 games. If they play out of their mind 6, I think it's a 5-game series, Stephen A.
There's still a possibility it could be a 6-game series, but I think that Golden State is going to go to Portland and probably steal Game 4. Portland will win Game 3. Golden State wins Game 4, and then they close out, come back to the Oracle, and probably close things out in Game 5.
Yeah, this is a demoralizing loss.